Here's the top stories for August 6th. Ping and Imee says Senate should respect SC decision on Vice President Duterte impeachment. President Marcos orders 60-day suspension of rice imports to protect local farmers. Vice President Sara said to respond to House impeachment appeal within required period. PAGASA warns that the low-pressure area may bring significant rainfall as it crosses Luzon. Dozens killed as Palestinians in Gaza scramble for aid from air and land. Two senators on Wednesday, August 6th, reiterated their belief the Senate should respect the Supreme Court's decision on the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. But Lacson said he has read the motion for reconsideration filed by the House of Representatives through Solicitor General Darlene Berberabe. Senator Imee Marcos, meanwhile, said the Senate or the impeachment court cannot simply choose which part of the decision of the SC it will comply with. Marcos also said it is highly unlikely that a unanimous SC decision would be overturned based on a motion for reconsideration. Earlier, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa disclosed that the so-called Duterte bloc will likely vote in favor of possible motions to dismiss the impeachment trials during the Senate's deliberation of the issue. The Duterte bloc is composed of De La Rosa, Marcos, Senators Christopher Bong Go, Rodante Marcoleta, and Robin Hood Robin Padilla. President Marcos has ordered a 60-day suspension of all rice importation starting September 1st to shield local farmers from falling palay prices during the ongoing harvest season, the Presidential Communications Office announced. The president announced the move after consultations with key cabinet officials on the sidelines of his 5-day state visit to India. In a statement, Communications Secretary Dave Gomez said the temporary halt was based on the recommendation of Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. He said the focus must remain on protecting local producers in the immediate term. According to the DA's July 2025 price monitoring report, farm gate prices of palay in several provinces have dipped to as low as 15 to 16 pesos per kilo, well below the break-even range of 23 to 27 pesos per kilo for most farmers. The camp of Vice President Sara Duterte said on Tuesday, August 5th, that it will comply with the Supreme Court's order to comment on the motion for reconsideration filed by the House of Representatives seeking to reverse the court's ruling on her impeachment case. The vice president's camp, as well as other petitioners, were given a non-extendable period of 10 days to respond to the motion for reconsideration. This came after the House of Representatives filed the motion on Monday, August 4th, asking the SC to reverse its earlier decision that declared as unconstitutional the impeachment case filed against Duterte. The Office of the Solicitor General, which stands as the House's legal counsel, argued that the approval and transmittal of the fourth impeachment complaint against Duterte back in February 5th was valid because it was signed by 215 members of the lower chamber. It also stressed that the House did not violate the one-year bar rule based on an earlier Supreme Court ruling that defined initiation as the filing of the complaint and its referral to the proper committee in impeachment proceedings. The motion asked the Supreme Court to allow the impeachment trial in the Senate to proceed as it is the constitutional right of both chambers, the House to initiate impeachment proceedings and the Senate to try. The low-pressure area east of Luzon has started bringing rains over the eastern parts of the country and is expected to cause significant rainfall as it crosses Luzon within the next 2 days. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration said on Wednesday, August 6th. As of 3 a.m., the LPA was located 550 kilometers east of Infanta, Quezon. Although the LPA does not bring strong winds, De La Cruz Galicia said it carries significant moisture that could result in moderate to heavy rainfall, increasing the risk of localized flooding and landslides, especially in vulnerable areas. Dozens of Palestinians were killed or wounded on Monday as desperate crowds headed toward food distribution points and airdropped parcels in the Gaza Strip, according to witnesses and local health officials. Israel's blockade and military offensive have made it nearly impossible to safely deliver aid, contributing to the territory's slide toward famine nearly 22 months into the war with Hamas. Aid groups say Israel's week-old measures to allow more aid in are far from sufficient. Families of hostages in Gaza fear starvation affects them too, but blame Hamas. Several hundred Palestinians have been killed by Israeli fire since May while heading toward food distribution sites and aid convoys, according to witnesses, local health officials, and the United Nations Human Rights Office. The military says it has only fired warning shots and disputes the toll. As international alarm has mounted, several countries have airdropped aid over Gaza. The UN and aid groups call such drops costly and dangerous for residents, and say they deliver far less aid than trucks. Stay updated with the latest news. Visit our website at www.mb.com.ph or follow us on social media. Thanks for tuning in to the Manila Bulletin Daily Rundown.